Hey there, you're watching Alexa. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the 5 major lessons that I learned after doing low buy and my first project pan in 2019. Grab yourself some tea, maybe a snack or something, because this video is going to be a little bit long. I hope you enjoy it. In my debt story time / makeup no buy announcement video for 2020, Jasmine S commented, "I'd love to see videos on the emotions behind your purchases and how you have overcome them and what's your secret." So this video is going to answer that and more, I hope. The short answer to this would be that I started to ask myself the questions. Why am I buying all of this stuff? Why do I not feel satisfied after buying this stuff? Why do I keep buying all of this stuff when I don't feel satisfied when I buy this stuff? Redundant, I know, but wait for it. It all kind of led me back to one major question, which was, what is the source of my shopping addiction? And I started to ask myself that in a more serious way. Subscribe to this channel if you're interested in following my no-buy year, if you're looking for no-buy inspiration. I do project pans, some beauty blogging content, and also I am planning some budgeting videos in the future. More on that later. Be sure to hit the notification bell so that you're always notified when I post new videos. So on to lesson number 1. It is a freaking journey. Let me put this into perspective. There is knowing what's right, and then there is feeling like doing what is right for you. It's very easy to say, I should be saving money, I shouldn't be buying so much makeup, I don't need it. And it's a whole other thing to actually feel like you want to stop over consuming and actively stop yourself from doing it. You need that click, like that aha moment. And let me explain to you when that happened to me. In 2017 and 2018, I really scaled back on my YouTube presence. I stopped posting as much because I just felt overwhelmed with all the new releases, and I also just felt like I couldn't keep up. The other thing that bothered me was how much my closet had expanded over the years and how full my makeup drawers were, and just knowing that I really wasn't using everything. That's when I decided to read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And then I came to realize this is so much more than just the stuff. This has something to do with me and how I feel about myself. I've constantly struggled with feeling like I'm not where I should be for the age that I am. I'm always thinking about achieving. And because I haven't achieved as much as I wanted to by my age, I feel like I'm not good enough. And that's where the shopping addiction comes in. When I shop, I'm trying to distract myself, or I'm lying to myself in that I think that purchasing that one next thing is going to be what gets me closer to who I aspire to be. When I realized that, it was like I lifted a blindfold and I could never look at shopping the same way that I did before. It became a source of guilt and anger. You might not realize that you've fallen into that trap because marketing will convince you to go on these little mini wild goose chases that seem like so much fun. For instance, you feel the need to get the perfect little black dress in your wardrobe, or that perfect white button-down shirt, that perfect pair of jeans, and you're on a constant quest to find that one perfect piece for your wardrobe. With makeup, there's always that it product. Like, it was the Urban Decay Naked palettes, it was the Shape Tape, then it was the Modern Renaissance Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and I don't know what it is right now. Maybe it's something Fenty, I don't know. That's probably one of the reasons why I never got into Fenty, because it hit me before that came out. And at the end of the day, between you and me, you know it's BS. You know you don't need that thing, but you want it so bad that you've convinced yourself that you need to go get it no matter what. To really want a thing to just put away in your storage room, aka your closet or your makeup drawers, that's just like, why are we lying to ourselves? So of course, this led me to the conclusion that shopping was a dead end. Unfortunately, that's not where the journey ends, because now I've identified a problem that I don't have a solution to. So I've tried a bunch of things. Like I thought, okay, maybe getting fit is gonna help me. Like I'll start calorie counting, I'll start eating cleaner, maybe I'll challenge myself and do Whole30. Then I was like, oh, now I'm going to get into posting more regularly, and I'm gonna be so invested in my YouTube channel. I'm still not there yet. Like I haven't figured it out. But setting goals and trying to achieve them, moving away from shopping, has kind of helped me sort of get to know myself better. Lesson 2, not that complicated. You don't need as much as you think you do. When you make more money, you add a lot of fluff into your life. You decide what is a necessity and what is a want. There really are only certain kinds of needs that are real, like shelter and food, things like that. The Starbucks coffee, it's cliche, but it's true. You don't really need it. You can make your coffee at home if you need to make coffee. You can quit coffee. You don't need coffee to survive. Although I've convinced myself that I do need coffee to survive, but that's another story. I accidentally went on a low buy, but it was completely unintentional. And in doing so, I've realized that loads of things that I considered necessities before just kind of don't really seem necessary to me anymore. An example of this is, for instance, when you go on a diet, you are restricting your calorie intake, or you're restricting what kind of food you eat, like say you eliminate processed foods, whatever. If you are counting calories, you're probably not going to budget for calorie empty foods or drinks, like anything that's sugary or white bread. Those aren't going to be things that you go for. You will have a tendency towards foods that are necessary to keep you satisfied and energized for several hours, and not just something that's going to take you up and take you down on a sugar rush. For me, my accidental low buy started in November 2018, and it was very gradual. I had just quit my dead-end and low-paying job at the airport as a airline passenger agent, and I decided that, I have a few $1,000s saved up. I am going to work from home and go back to beauty blogging. Because from 2014 to 2016, I had been making money by just running a YouTube channel. To me, it felt like, okay, this is my last chance to try to go back to beauty blogging and not work at the same time, because I'm still living at home and my mom was 100% on board. She was like, do what you have to do, follow your dreams, and I'm here for you. And God bless her, she is just my rock. Like, honestly, she's the most supportive person in my life and I love her to bits. But I failed. I couldn't get any sponsorships. AdSense was just basically paying my cell phone bill, and that was it. First world problems. So when I look back at my beauty product and clothing consumption over the year of 2019, there isn't much. If you notice, I don't post hauls unless they're like a couple of thrift hauls, but really, oh, I did buy a few bras, but I started bra blogging, so yeah, that was one thing. But really, I spent $80 total on makeup or beauty related items. That's $50 for 5 different makeup products, and $30 was an order I did on Shop Miss A where I did a beauty sponge review. But apart from that and minor clothing purchases, there's not much that I can think of off the top of my head that I was shopping for. Lesson number 3, and this, I don't know how this is gonna go down, but really, you don't need more makeup than what you can fit in a makeup bag. I know because I've tried. During my time in the airline industry, I was very fortunate to really take advantage of my staff travel benefits. That was the main reason why I went to work there, because it's a very underpaying job. When I traveled, I didn't pack much makeup or clothing because I restricted myself to what was allowed in carry-on in terms of weight, baggage, liquids. Limiting my choices to very well thought out pieces, it kind of felt like I was putting myself through the 10 by 10 challenge for clothing and makeup. It took the stress out of traveling for me and the stress out of getting dressed and putting on some makeup and stepping out the door. It was so simple. And I was like, wow, this is, why do I not live like this? If you're familiar with the way that staff travel works, it can be really difficult to get on a flight. And sometimes it's a difference between making it to the gate on time versus being stuck behind the counters because you had to wait for cutoff to check in your bag. You basically get whatever seat is left over on the flight. By the time they let you through and they're sure that you can get a seat on the flight, you might miss your flight or your bag will get lost. So you're better off just working with carry-on. So that's how I got used to it, basically. I was also a bit on a budget when I was traveling, so I was more concerned with putting my money on things like where to sleep, what to eat, what activities I was doing, and public transportation or trains or buses. So I didn't think too much about buying makeup or clothing when I was on these trips. I also didn't want to spend time in historical cities cooped up in stores. Lesson number 4, makeup expires. I know people say this all the time, but it expires in more senses than what you're thinking. Like, I'm not talking about just the physical expiration. Any makeup that you find really exciting, interesting, feel like you need it right now is going to be irrelevant to you very soon. I mean, that's just the way that the industry works. They thrive on being able to sell you the newest and latest thing. So they make something trendy now, and tomorrow it'll be a new thing, and whatever it is that you bought before is just kind of like no one cares anymore. So much of what's being released is the same thing or the same shades or the same concepts being repackaged in different packaging and with a whole new marketing spiel. And I realize as well, we have a lot of brand loyalty and just identify with different brand identities, and they use that to sell products to us. So sometimes, you know, a red shadow is a red shadow is a red shadow. And yes, there might be slight variations in formula and all that, and maybe shades, but ultimately, like, can you tell what eyeshadow palette I'm wearing on my eyelids? Probably not. Like, I can't look at a brown and tell exactly what palette it's from. Nobody cares. Like, unless it's a very different color or shape-shifting shade, I don't know, but it stops mattering after a certain point. Another thing too is that makeup takes forever to finish. So chances are you have something in your stash that you've never finished or haven't even given fair use to. I know in my case, last year I tried to do Pan That palette and I failed miserably. I went from Naked 2 to Naked 3, I couldn't get on with them, and then I realized that I was much better at panning skincare because I like having an incentive to use my skincare, and so that's why I'm doing a skincare project pan this year. I also learned that if you wear something every day, like for a month, you will really know what you like versus what you don't like, and you will see far beyond the hype. Like, that hype will not be phasing you anymore. Number 5, peer pressure and negative influences are real. It is a real thing, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it's something that will remain a constant obstacle in your life. Peer pressure is not just a high school thing. I did a makeup inventory in 2015, and I also did what I would refer to as soft declutters in 2015 and 2016. Some of them were lipstick declutters, which did very well because they had lip swatches in them, but the rest of the sort of declutter content I did not perform well. Alejandra Lisette talked about this on her channel. She did a 1-year low buy finale video. She said that 4 to 5 years ago, panning and low buy was not a thing in the beauty community, but it was something that she considered doing. It's just that she was not receiving a positive response for being interested in that. It's very hard to follow through with something when you don't have a support system set in place. And it takes a lot of courage to do something that you believe in despite all of the criticism or just kind of the side eyes that you will get from everyone else. On a more intimate level, I really resonated with this because when my makeup and clothing spending had subsided in recent years, I started spending a lot more on eating and drinking out. I had to have a really serious conversation with my partner about this because he is someone who likes to eat and drink out, and he is a bit gluttonous with food, and he is gluttonous with spending as well. He's a lot more of a spendy person. Everyone is entitled to do what they want with their money, with their time, to accumulate whatever they want. But it is very difficult when the people who are closest to you in your life are not on board with where you are going. Like, for instance, think of some of the reasons that people quit healthy eating, quit working out, or skip their gym days, quit their alcohol detoxes. People will constantly say things like, oh, come on, live a little, have a piece of cake. Oh, come on, let's eat out, all of us together, let's get together, just order the cheapest thing on the menu. Don't be a Debbie Downer. It's difficult. I'm still trying to kind of not let others influence where I am intending on going at this point in time. So if you are looking for a sign to start something, this is it. Like, here you are. Hello, I am your sign. Do not wait until you have too much makeup, too much clothing, too much stuff, too much debt. After all of the positive feedback that I got on my debt story, I am going to plan a budget. Although I am waiting until I'm employed. I have a couple of phone interviews this week. At the time of filming this, it is January 2nd, by the way. I am open to requests. If you have any requests, I would love to chit chat with you about that in the comments down below. Be sure to follow me at Alexa Likes, and thank you so much for your continuous support. This is awesome. Like, I'm so happy that I have someone in my life to share this with. Hoping to see you in my next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.